Hello, everybody. How is it going on Game of Thrones night? I hope you all had a fantastic Sunday like the rest of us did. We are here to talk about Game of Thrones with MaliceCast right now. So we've got a few people joining us, not our normal band of rapscallions, but nevertheless, some of my favorites in general. So let's start everybody off. Let's say hi. And when you introduce yourself, talk about your favorite moment this evening, just to give a little bit of a tease, if you would. Let's start off with Super. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. How is everyone? I hope everyone's doing well. As for my favorite moment, for just sheer history, I guess you could say when Danny came over the wall with the dragons. That was just,
Always a
for
good
just
one.
like I said, just sheer. I don't know if it was my favorite, but it was the most wow.
It
Like,
was epic. It was absolutely
yeah,
epic.
it
And there's
was
so
epic.
much to talk about. Nobody worry about spoilers because they're already here. So enjoy them. Next, we have a man who is very rarely on, but Mr. Nudie Rudy. How you doing, brother?
I am doing amazing there, Big Papa Matt. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Happy to be here. And honestly, I guess I'm just a romantic fool, but my first best part of the episode was just seeing Danny and John finally acknowledging they're falling in love, man. Fucking just
Falling in love. Absolutely. They are. And it's dragon love. Nothing better, right? And then we also have the man of all men, Mr. Mess. What's up, dude?
I am great. My favorite moment was I need more of the epic beer, the epic
Epic beard. You can have it right here.
not
You can
that
have it.
epic beard. I need that ginger epic beard talk with his new best friend.
Absolutely.
Hound.
Tormund and the Hound are, yes, match made in heaven. I love those guys.
That was the greatest scene.
All I gotta
that.
Absolutely.
Your
And all I
dialogue.
gotta say is Tormund, get away from my girl. All right. Brienne is mine, sir. Only this beard gets to have that.
He was so sweet though, like, oh, we're gonna have babies and they're going to be fierce and they're going to conquer the
That
world.
is not what he said. He said
That
we're
was-
gonna have
that was
huge
so
monsters.
sweet.
He said we're gonna have huge
monster babies. Yeah,
monster babies.
I was
There's
2
nothing
seconds
sweet.
from tweeting out, "No, the huge monster babies."
They are going to create the greatest volleyball team of all time together, those two. They're going to have giant women and boys running around everywhere for sure. But yeah, no, we had a night, just epic night. Game of Thrones does this though, right? This is always the show before the season finale. We probably, arguably, in every single season, we get the best episode of the season, and I don't think this one shied away from anything at all. This was phenomenal on all levels. So, let's start talking a little bit about it. So we had kind of 3 different stories kind of going on. So the very first one, let's just talk about where we kind of start off, where we have our fellowship going north of the wall. I mean, Nudie, what'd you kind of think of this moment with our new fellowship, our band of brothers here?
honestly, I felt bad. I kind of saw it coming that the poor guys were just cannon fodder. That's what just waiting for the bloodshed. I felt bad for the guys, like the band of brothers, the bands, just the whole. Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, the Brotherhood. Yeah, that was definitely their death warrant signing when they started walking out the wall for sure. Sarah, what'd you think of the new crew? What'd you think of our new gang of brothers?
I
if you
felt
will?
like when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is Lord of the Rings meets The Walking Dead meets The Revenant. That's what I felt like I was watching.
I'm into that. I'm into
the
that.
bear.
You put some great descriptive adjectives of great
Yeah.
groups in there. I'm in for
mean,
sure.
But I mean, when they fought, that bear was gnarly. I think I'd rather take the bear from The Revenant than that bear that they fought, because that was a gnarly bear. But walking away, was it Thoros? I always say his name wrong. Thoros, when he's like, I just fought an undead bear. Like, how do you think I am right now? Like, I just got bit and mauled by an undead bear. That pretty much summed it up.
Yeah, I mean, the only way they could have made that bear attack more brutal is if they put Leo in there screaming for his life as he was mauled apart, for sure.
I'm waiting for those edits to come. Somewhere
Right.
it's going to happen.
So we saw a lot of interaction with these guys. We saw the band of brothers. What was really cool here that I thought, though, was Jorah. he kind of tied this group together. I felt he was able to kind of bring a lot of different sides. What do you know about this group, though, that was kind of some big hints, some phone moments from you, knowing that know a lot more of the backstories, the scenes of these guys?
Well, you had the one thing with Gendry already having kind of issues with them because he wanted to be a part of them, and they sold him.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no worse way to start off a relationship than trying to be like, I'm gonna join you guys up. Okay, we're gonna sell you for gold, sir.
Yeah. And I love the reaction, like, well, she needed your blood. Well, yeah, but
or when I got tied down and stripped to a bed. Sounds okay so far. Like, what are you complaining about?
Well?
Absolutely. So we have a chat there. Our producer is asking which one of these guys is Frodo, if anybody is going to be our Frodo of this group.
God, I mean, he's the martyr, and he's got the brooding down and the self-sacrifice and
But who's his Sam? Who's gonna ride with him till the day, right? Who's his Sam?
He sent him to the Maesters.
I don't know. We need a Sam out of this, right?
We need a Samwise.
His Sam would be, I think, Jorah, just because of his adoration to Dany. Always no,
I'm gonna stop you right there, because Jorah wants to see Jon die more than anybody, because he knows that's the quickest way to Dany. He knows if Jon Snow is gone, he gets first shot at Dany.
No, because he ended up the connection showed there with the sword. And that was a speculation we made before, was that once he saw that his dad gave that sword to Jon, that was going to create the connection between him and Jorah.
Yeah, but Frodo got his blade. When Frodo was granted his blade, he got it from his great uncle. He got it from another hobbit.
We'll say it this way: his Sam was already on the other side of the wall and just went down like a
That's what I'm talking about. Sam was binging.
I am so pissed about that. I've been waiting for Benjen to come back, and he comes back and he's gone the second he comes back.
Anybody that can turn a Catholic essence smoker into a weapon is my kind of man.
It was just so bizarre. Like, he comes out of nowhere, he saves the day, no explanation, no, there isn't time, no, I'm going to give you a note, no, nothing. You're still left in the dark wondering what the F is going on with that guy.
And I'm still mad that Jon didn't get to ride away on an elk. Dang it.
Oh, I mean, we needed to get an elk.
We want Benjen's elk.
But we saw Benjen go down. I mean, are you guys really questioning the fact if Benjen's alive on this one? He's gone. I mean, he's gone.
No.
I think
they had to. Yeah, go ahead, Rudy.
The man's undead and alive, and neither. So can they turn him? Can they not turn him? That's kind of weird. No, the point is he obviously went down, but you never know.
But that's the point. Wasn't he already somewhat turned, and he was just fighting off the turn? So this, I think, will just be the finalization. This is gonna cause the final. That many guys on you.
Well, so here's my thing for you guys, though, and I kind of want to talk about this because in the beginning of our fellowship here, we talked a little bit about the Lord of Light, right, and how he had a plan for these gentlemen to be alive and to stay alive, at least for what's the guy with the eye patch? I'm gonna call him one-eyed guy right now. I can't think of his name.
Barrack Dondarrion.
Dondarrion. Okay. You guys will correct me in the chat room. I know you will. So thanks for that. Anyways, so he talked about Lord of Light. So my question is Benjen? Do you think who is he following? Is he following the old gods like the Starks did? Is he following the Lord of Light, and that's what's been keeping him alive out there so long? And if he is following the Lord of Light, are we going to see these guys come back somehow, not as White Walkers, because that's who they're following? They're following this different god out there.
I personally think following the old gods. He came from the Starks. He was a Stark.
Yeah, he was a Stark. If
I
remember correctly, he got.
Hold on, Sarah, real fast. Hold on,
no problem.
Mess, go ahead and finish.
Sorry, I was just saying. Yeah, he was a Stark. That's what his lineage was. That's what he stuck with. He just got stuck out there because of situations that happened. He wasn't going to bring that mess back. That was the White Walkers and the curse that he had on himself and stuff like that. So that's I don't think he changed religions because of that. He just was looking out for family, number one. That's what the Starks have always preached.
Absolutely. No, and if you guys are joining us in the chat, thank you all so much. Make sure you like and subscribe to this guy. But Sarah, go ahead and finish your thought as well. I think you're great. I think you're right on the point, though, Wes. You're absolutely right.
I was going to say, I think he follows the old gods. Both him and Ned were raised in the old gods. I don't see why he would have just suddenly converted to following the Lord of the Light. I mean, he went to the wall. I don't know where he would. I mean, unless there was a Lord of the Light guy at the wall at that time, when we don't really know who Benjen was there with, outside of the leaders, and none of them followed the Lord of Light. So I'm not sure where he would have made the conversion, so to speak.
Well, this is one of the only groups of guys here that are following a different god than those old gods. And I know the gods were a lot more in play with our books than they are this show. But some of these guys are actually making it back home. And we haven't seen a group of anybody really get back home except for like Samwell, a couple of the other Black Knight, the Crows, and Jon Snow. And the Lord of Light obviously has plans for all these guys as well. So enough talk about the gods, unless you guys have anything on it. But I just, it was just kind of interesting to see. This is the first time we've heard a lot of any god talk in a while, except from these gentlemen who are bringing that up. And this is one of the few groups that's making it out. So shout out to Marco, and also in the chat.
Welcome, Marco. We're waiting for you.
All right, so let's kind of get back over here. So let's talk Dany and Tyrion. So first of all, the only person that can make Daenerys Targaryen actually, like, for me to care about her in any way, shape, or form is Tyrion Lannister. I find her portions of this show in many seasons, and I know it's an unpopular opinion, and I'll probably get eaten up about it. I haven't liked really anything she's done. I never really have. It's always been kind of boring, except for when Tyrion showed up and started handling business with her. Once Tyrion kind of showed up, started helping her out, absolutely. We'll make sure we blur that little photo out there. But what my thing for you guys, though, is the advice that Tyrion's given her. Is this stuff valid? Do you think she should be throwing it away like she has been? Rudy, tell me a little bit about what you think that's going on with this relationship right here with these two.
Well, I think Tyrion's a great hand. I think he gives her great advice, but I think Dany has to make up her own mind. I would just lose respect for her if she just took whatever he said and just, okay, thanks, Dad. It's just stupid. Like, I want her to be her own character, and I think she can be a flawed character. And I agree, honestly, with Tyrion on the whole thing with the Tarleys. Honestly, she probably should have kept the son alive. But with what happens with going off to save everybody and the dragon died and everything, I think she made the right choice. Although I completely agree with what we've kind of mentioned a bit before, is just that it was a fucking stupid bullshit plan in the first place. But aside,
yes, it was. It so was.
So one of the big things, though, that I really want to talk about on this, guys, is with that relationship, Tyrion is watching her getting into that mode of reactionary. She's becoming very headstrong, absolutely. But the thing is she's becoming very emotional with a lot of these decisions, and everybody watched her father do the same thing. I think these are those items where he's watching these red flags kind of popping up of because the Mad King did not take counsel from anybody, and I think that's one of the big things that'll separate her. Master, you seen any kind of foreshadowing with this or anything like that?
In terms of, again,
with Tyrion and Dany, are you seeing any kind of heavy foreshadowing on this? Obviously, in this episode itself, he told her, you're being way too, you're overreacting to a lot of the stuff. You're a little bit too gung ho, and we see that come into effect later on.
Well, I think this is gonna rein her back in a little bit, because this is what I was calling out from the beginning, from the first episode of the season, was that she was gonna snap on him, that everything that's happened, everything that's been going on is all his fault. It's because of his decisions. It's because, and you're seeing that become more and more paramount with each episode. And the thing that's happening here now with what happened to, was it Vizier? Which one? Not Vizier. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the dragon? That was the yellow one, right?
Yep.
Yep, and I called that too. First one to die. It was going to be the yellow dragon. But now that happened with the yellow dragon, I think she'll rein back in that like, okay, maybe you have a point. Maybe we shouldn't be so gung ho, because she just lost one of her children, and in one fatal blow. One quick blow. That was a smaller bolt than what's getting shot from Cersei.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, well, the other thing is this is also a blow from a White Walker and not a Scorpion tank man-made version of that, right? This is a magical item being tossed at this dragon, taking it down. Marco, though, I like Marco has a point here where it kind of didn't meet the expectations. For you guys, did you feel like this was a good lead into a season finale episode, or do you think this maybe fell short? Like I talked a little bit earlier, usually these are our best episodes before the finale. Do you guys feel like this fell short at all?
I don't think it fell short, but that's just me. I think it was a great setup to the finale with everything that happened. It propelled everything into one final showdown, I guess you could say, because you're going to have the alliance or the meeting. I won't say it's an alliance yet, but it's not. But you're going to have the meeting. You're going to have them either going to King's Landing or meeting outside King's Landing. You've got the tension in the north about to come to a head, and so for me, it was the breath before everything just.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a different. This season is a completely different telling of a story. The reason that the episode before the finale always looked massively and big and huge before was, once again, it took 3 to 4 episodes to get somewhere. Now we're there in that episode immediately. Everything's happening, always happening, and so it's such a ramped up pace that now when you're getting to that second to last episode, it doesn't look as big and as epic as what was going on with the rest of the season, because they're cramming it all into one spot. I personally thought it was a good episode, and I thought it would have been a fantastic episode in any other season, but because we're in a season that's just filled to the brim with stuff to go, hey, it's time to end. It falls short from.
Well, I think you're right there, because it just had a lot of buildup. I think we had a lot of buildup in this episode. The other thing, though, and what was kind of killing me, and what I want to talk about with you guys now, is the Sansa and Arya stuff, right? And the first time when we kind of got into this, I was like, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding me? Like, this is gonna be our filler. This is gonna be our junk. And it actually turned out to be a really good actual kind of builder for these two characters. I thought this was a really cool kind of moment for these sisters. But we had Arya, the first kind of scene that we see with these two girls. We have Arya telling Sansa about a story of her father, being patient and watching. What do you think that story kind of meant to Arya, Nudie?
I think a lot of it was kind of building that camaraderie, that bridge between them that kind of they had been losing a bit, just so she could stick it to her a little bit harder. Honestly, because that's when she slipped the note and everything, and it just made everything even more poignant when she kind of slipped the knife in at the end and just, kept going at her about the comment. And honestly, I mean, the bigger interaction, of course, was later on in the room with the faces and everything. And I really dug it, and I find it completely believable. I, for one, have never liked Sansa from the beginning, which is maybe a bit unpopular opinion. I thought finally sometime during the Veil that she was wising up, and I started liking her character a little more, and then No, I still hate her guts. Very bad.
Yeah. Mess, do you think this is what Littlefinger's been planning all along, tearing these two sisters apart and kind of getting them at each other's throats?
Absolutely. And I want to say hey to Jason
Jay Lee. What up, Jay Lee?
In the chat. But yeah, no, I think this is he is still 5 steps ahead. His whole plan is to get Sansa herself, I think, separated from everybody. So the only person she has to rely on, to lean on, is going to be Littlefinger. And slowly you're seeing that happen more and more. When she sends Bran off, same type of thing. She's now sent off another person. Bran's already kind of kooky in his head. Arya's seen the note, so now she's separating, and Jon's off somewhere else. So Sansa has nobody to lean on but Littlefinger, and it's gonna play right into his hands. He knows that she's the one that he can manipulate. He's tried to learn how to manipulate everybody else, but he's not getting anywhere with everybody else. But he has her, and right now she's the head of everything.
Well, and Marco brings up a good point where, we saw Arya starting to play that game of faces with Sansa, kind of showing those falling out of the bag, things like that. Now, Sarah, I see you kind of shaking your head over here. Do you not agree that Littlefinger's trying to isolate Sansa, or
no, he is. He totally is. I was trying to nod my head, sorry, and grooving to the beat in my own head.
Okay, no worries. I just wanted to make sure if you had another point on that, because I think, Mess, you nailed that. Littlefinger is trying to get Sansa by herself. He's trying to get her in solidarity, or not solidarity so much, but on an island where she can't be reached because she's pushing everybody away. And to send off Brienne like that, I think that was the truest tale of this story, is when she finally sends off Brienne, and that little smile from Sansa, right? I mean, Sarah, what did you kind of read into that smile from Sansa when she finally gets Brienne out of the room?
I don't even know. That was so weird. I mean, it was like, I finally am alone. I finally can do what I want. I finally don't have somebody telling me. I mean, I guess maybe in her mind it was vindication, like I'm finally standing on my own 2 feet and I don't need protecting. I think that's what a lot of her storyline is right now, is she's tired of being protected. You know, she's always been seen as weak and frail and fragile, and Arya drove that point home again earlier. You know, oh, you were a scared little child, you did what you did out of fear, and you were weak, and you betrayed your family because of it, and so
Well,
now,
go ahead.
yeah, I
No,
was going to say, now she's trying to show that she can stand on her own 2 feet and she doesn't need protecting, but I
that's
think
what
it's going to backfire.
I think that's where Littlefinger's playing his game, though, right? Is he wants her to feel that way. He wants her to feel strong and like she can do this all on her own when he knows she can. And we have a couple good points from Marco. When Arya is now playing that game with her, she gives Sansa that blade. And the biggest thing that I took from that is not just giving Sansa that blade, but she actually turns her back on Sansa. And her first thing that she learned with her dancing teacher back in season 1 was never turn away from the enemy. Never turn your back to an enemy. And I think that was Arya showing the rest of us she does not think Sansa is her enemy. And I think where we're really at right now is Arya's trying to pull the snake out of the hole. And I think she's trying to get Littlefinger out of that hole that he's digging himself in. And she's laying a trap for the guy. I think she's on his game. I think she's going to lay a trap for him. Mess, when you kind of saw this scene, what was your reaction to, you know, handing off that dagger, telling her, you know, all I need from you is your face, Sansa. That's all I need from you. I need nothing else from you except your face.
Sansa doesn't know what to expect with Arya anymore. She doesn't, you know, I actually, that whole theory of that it's not actually Arya, that she didn't beat the other girl. And yeah, we said there's no way, because why would you go after the family that killed Rob and stuff like that? But that scene felt like, holy crap, that theory could be right, because it didn't feel like Arya at all. The way that, you know, that I was just, the way she was carrying. In fact,
it was cold blooded. It was cold.
It was cold blooded, but it goes into another theory. The other theory is that Littlefinger is a man of many faces as well. And the way she was standing and carrying herself, and even the tone that she was speaking in, sounded like Littlefinger to me. And I was like, oh, if they did that type of twist where, you know, if you
where Littlefinger's playing Arya right now.
Well,
that means he would have had to kill Arya, right? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
But in this episode so far, we haven't seen Arya and Littlefinger together in any scene.
We have not. It's just like Bruce Wayne and Batman. We haven't seen them in the same room.
And granted, that's probably not going to happen. It's probably not the thing. But that's just the feeling I got from it. Was she reminded me more of Littlefinger than she did of Arya.
No,
when she was talking.
I think there's something to it, right? I really do think there's something to it. And Jay Lee talking about, you know, Sansa was pushing everybody away, but now she's actually seeking counsel from Littlefinger again. She's trusting that move, and you know, where's that going to come from? Is that going to be another power play for the North? Obviously, Littlefinger's trying to tear her up a little bit as well, talking about, do these men trust you? Do you think they're here for you? Nudie, what do you think is going to be the ultimate play with this, with Littlefinger and Sansa? Like, where do you think this is going to kind of come to a head in this season?
Well, honestly, I'm hoping it's basically like you said, that Arya knows what's going on and she's going to play Littlefinger, and, you know, and they're still going to stay sisters, I hope. But honestly, I don't think that's the more likely situation. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's get back to our main group here, right? So, we have a lot to talk about these guys, because here's the thing, man. Anytime you get me a white walking bear, a polar bear to say the least, you've sold me on a great episode already. Like that already off the back. Yes. We had our brotherhood go and light their swords on fire. What are the name of their blades? What do they call their blades? I can't think of it.
Do they have a name? I don't think they have a name.
Flaming sticks.
Flaming stick of flame.
I
flame
can't recall.
Flaming blade of light.
Yeah.
It's just a lightsaber.
I'm not sure if it's Flamebringer or something like that. Google it for us in the chat room. We'd appreciate you. Give us an answer here. We'd appreciate you. Rudy, do you know what they are by any chance?
Well, you're probably thinking of Lightbringer, which was Stannis Baratheon.
I know that's Baratheon. Yeah, I know that's Baratheons. No.
I saw Lightbringer, so like the real Lightbringer, the full thing. Like, I don't know. But no, that ain't what they got. So yeah.
No, absolutely. No, and our final comments, Marco even saying, if the beef is real between the sisters, the Bran is still there. So Bran could always be the ultimate kind of lifesaver in that for sure. I totally agree. But getting into the main group, like we talked about, so this group, right off the back, they start hitting walls, right? I mean, anytime you got White Walking polar bears coming in to lead the way and start off the fight, I mean, it's definitely not good for you. But what's really cool about this is we kind of watch these guys coming in and really bonding over this, right? Obviously, they now, everybody is now aware, like, this stuff exists. There's nobody now that can deny what their quest is, what they're doing, what they're moving on for. And as they go in, they now see a small band of White Walkers, right? Small group coming in. And they get at it, man. They lay a little trap. They go after it. We get to see Gendry throwing down the hammer. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, that was awesome. But everybody's kind of got their own little fighting. I like how everybody kind of had. Absolutely, everybody had their own little weapons, all that good stuff as well. And as we're moving along, all of a sudden we finally get our White Walker, right? So the group finally goes in, they get what they're doing, but it starts screaming, starts yelling, and then we see the avalanche, right? What mess? Like what is this? The avalanche? What's it filled of, and what rains down?
That's what in our chat. I said that's no avalanche. So
that's no avalanche. You're absolutely right. That was no avalanche.
That was the warning cry, I guess you could say. The
exactly.
They had the ability to break snow. It was signaling the army. I mean, that's all it was just signal, and they didn't get away fast enough.
And that's the other thing I said is that we got our we were talking about how this is our fellowship of Game of Thrones, and now we've got our golem with the White Walker, because the way he was twitching around,
it burns us. It burns us. And just was yelling out there, screaming. But yeah, Marco, you're absolutely right. This was a pretty chill scout. I mean, do you guys think the Night King? Do you think he plotted this out? Do you think he left these guys out there to spring the trap for himself and to kind of see where these guys were and bring them out to the front?
Unless he was a seer, which hasn't been revealed. I think it was just a fluke. I think it was just coincidence. I think he had scouting parties, maybe looking for wildlings, maybe looking for, I don't even know, but I think it was just a coincidence.
There's a major theory going on right now for Game of Thrones that just dropped by another podcast. And they brought up, what if Bran is the Night King? And that's why the Night King knows so much of what's going on and things. And
wow, okay.
The way they described it was, if Bran warged into the Night King before he became the Night King, trying to stop the first children, so this all didn't come about, when they stabbed him with the blade, he would have been stuck within the Night King. And that's why the Night King didn't actually kill Bran when they met each other earlier. He just touched him, and and it's just a weird, crazy theory. And if there was any truth to that theory, yeah, this would be hey, send out somebody, because I know they're already out here looking. This is going to bring them, So
well, and you know what, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And I know one of these things, like a lot of these podcasts, they're getting a lot of this like back information with things like the first children, things like that from a lot of the backstory plugs and books are like The World of Fire and Ice and a bunch of other things from George R.R. Martin. Shameless plug here, but go onto our Amazon links on our website at malice-corp.com, guys, and go and get those books from us if you could. Go hit our Amazon links, grab some of these books, and you can get a lot more of this backstory as well. You don't just have to watch our videos, but we love it that you do, so we appreciate you on that.
Well, I love you did bring up really quick. You did bring up Marco's comment about the chill scouting party. I love his double.
His pun there? No pun. Hopefully, that
scouting party.
They were chilling in the snow of the north. Absolutely. Well, and here's the thing that I like about that theory, though, a little bit there, Mess, though, is, and I just want to touch it just a little bit right there. Not a lot of touch, just a little bit of touch, like a little finger touch. With that being said, maybe it's one of those items where you can't have like the three-eyed raven without the Night King, right? And maybe they are kind of one and the same item up there in the north, past the wall, and they are kind of something that has to coexist with each other. And maybe there is something to that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it wasn't something from my head. I just thought it was an interesting, I saw it while perusing the other day, and I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then the points that they made on it, I was like, dang it, this looks like something that could be legit. And then of course everybody else got mad at them and like, do you know what you're talking about? It's like
Absolutely.
every time we talk about that Arya and Sansa are not going to get along, that something's going to happen with them, we get just hammered by people going, Arya loves her sister.
Yeah.
Sansa's, I'm just like,
this
what
isn't
show
Frozen.
are you watching?
All right, everybody, this isn't Frozen. All right, we're moving past our two. This is not a Disney show with sisters. They can hate each other. All right, Robert, what's up in the chat room, man? We see you out there. Glad to have you join us, man. What'd you think of the episode? But no, I think you guys are absolutely right. It's anytime someone comes with a theory, obviously there's going to be people on both sides of it. And, I love watching the show and enjoying it for what it is for sure. And I know some of you guys have kind of dug into a lot more of the books, items like that. But with all this kind of being said and being shown here, we saw a very fast scene here, right? We saw this very quick moment. All of a sudden, the Night King is right on top of the Fellowship here, and then they're running, they're moving, and they send Gendry off to go get a Raven out. Obviously, you're much faster without your big old hammer, bro. Like, let's think about that for a little bit. Like, it's just, you don't need that thing with you. But what I really like about this is then we finally get our first, our second conflict for Jon Snow, but really our first for this group, seeing it, being there, and they get trapped, right? They get trapped by the Night King. They're surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands, of White Walkers here, and we end up losing a character who the drunk guy. I can never think of his name. Why am I blanking on that? Thoros or something like that.
Thoros, yeah, they're priests. They're priests.
You can only live through bear wounds for so long.
No.
Well, they lost two in that because they lost the one in the run to the Rock, and then they lost the Thoros.
Yeah. Marco's even saying in the chat, maybe even the Night King was the X3-eyed Raven. And that has something to do as well, right? We saw the interaction between those Ravens when Bran was using them, and the 3-eyed Raven having contact with that as well. So that's definitely something that could be played off of that.
I love Jamie's comment there. If you saw that, if he can throw a spear like that, why not just kill them on the island? So.
Hey man, when you've only got like 2 or 3 spears, you can't go out and risking all that. What if somebody like Thormund catches the spear and throws it back at you? That guy's a beast, man. You just never leave anything out to options.
And
there.
We got the name. The name of was Thoros of Myr.
Thoros, yes. So Thoros, rest in peace, man. So I'm actually doing a death pool for Game of Thrones currently right now, and I put the wrong Brother of Light on there. So I missed. I knew one of them was going to die, and I should have put.
You
Thoros
knew one of them was going to die. I didn't think it was going to be him, but.
Anyways.
But you're missing. You forgot to tag tonight's MVP dialogue MVP, and it has to be the Hound. I mean, all the scenes. I mean, he just had the best one-liners tonight when they were walking, when they were,
I think he was the biggest.
I think he's the biggest chicken of the night.
Biggest screw up that redeemed himself is
yes.
He was the biggest. He was the biggest chicken of the night. Every time some fire went up, he started shivering his pants and started weeing his little self.
He didn't. But he stepped up.
He started winging.
He started winging. Yeah, winging. Yeah, his mouth was moving and he was complaining.
Whinging. Yeah.
Yeah, whinging. Oh my goodness, that was a great.
I didn't know how to spell it. I wrote it down as winging, and I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
No.
Thormund won the night for me. Anytime you're talking about Brienne of Tarth in such a wonderful way, you win.
That's great.
Especially we'll talk about his line later, but I want to get back to the episode. So Gendry gets the Raven off. He gets saved over by Davos, freezing half to death. He saves everybody by sending the Raven off to Dany, and she straddles up that dragon and takes off. Man, she barrels out, and she comes and brings hell with her with some fire. Starts raining down. Nudie, when you saw this scene, man, I mean, was this everything you wanted to be when you finally thought dragons and White Walkers colliding here?
Yes and no, because they shouldn't have been on the damn island in the first place. I'm still but on top of that, now it was a really good ending, but of course, I'm devastated by the end of the battle and everything, and just so sad, so sad. We lost it, and then of course the very end of the scene, that is probably the biggest setup for the entire thing of the finale. You can see how epic this finale is going to be with an undragon and 2 dragons in each side, and like this is going to be a pretty massive battle, and that probably was the biggest development of the entire show.
No,
Well,
absolutely, and this was a lot of, I think, the Night King, like Marco talks about, kind of flexing his muscles, right? I think this is him kind of showing off his army too, and this is what we have, this is our power, and yeah, he gets to see dragons, for the first time in however long, for sure, but at the same time, he gets to show what he's doing.
Well, Jay Lee brings up a point in there to piggyback off of that maybe it was a ploy to get the dragons there. A death dragon would be a great thing for his army to help break down the walls, which I responded to that with that pins back into that theory of that the Night King is possibly a 3-eyed raven.
That's what I'm saying is, unless he is a seer, how would he have known that dragons were in the world? There would have been no way.
Hey man, magic
for him
is
to know
magic.
that dragons.
That's the thing, right? Dragons come back to the world, and so does magic, and that could be part of what he's got going on. His powers are back as well, and maybe he's feeling his own strength, and that's why he knows they're back as well. Now,
it was just weird that he just happened to have that big old weapon that could take down a dragon in one hit. I thought that was strange. A little strange, a little forced.
There's nothing strange about that. The guy, once again, it's magic, right? Like, that's the whole part of this. That's what these guys were doing. We all knew it was coming, and it shouldn't take 5. It would have killed anything else. It would have killed anybody else. And when these things are born of fire, and ice is a direct weapon, it's a weakness. It's just like in Pokemon,
no,
Sarah.
I get that.
Your ice beats fire every single time. All right?
I get that, but it was, I don't know, it was weird. It did make me wonder, though, why didn't they just do this in the first place? Why didn't Dany just fly over to see the White Walkers and then fly the hell out?
So I think you stopped watching the episode like right after the dragon died, because she literally says, just like Wes said, is I didn't believe it was there, and now that she's seen it,
and I get that, but if you really didn't believe it was there, then what would have been the harm of taking a flyby? Either get your theory confirmed, or
that's not where her focus was. She had no reason to go that way.
At that time, she was still 100% listening to Tyrion and what Tyrion was saying, and Tyrion didn't tell her to go fly out there. He said, he was telling her, "This is our plan. We need to be here."
It was the stupidest plan that they've had on Game of Thrones to date.
All right,
I'm not gonna lie.
For the person rocking the supernatural archangel bullets, fandom right there, I think you can allow anything to happen, Sarah. So, Marco even talks about a supernatural throw for you. So,
I don't know if I like it, but I can believe it. I just don't know. But I mean, I call out supernatural and maybe weird stuff too. So I'm gonna call out Game of Thrones. I mean,
and Robert brings up a good point that the sorcerers felt it when the dragons were born. So why not the Night King?
Absolutely, right?
Okay, see, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So
it's all there for you. So here's one of the things I want to make sure is going on. So we talked about the Night King having those abilities, feeling the magic, and even there, he has the power of resurrection, turning people over. I mean, that 3-eyed raven theory is not a bad item at all when you start thinking about the things he's able to do, the people he's able to see and touch, and all those types of things as well. But Mess, now when you saw this fight, you saw the dragons come down, you start seeing them raining from above. What was your first thought?
When they finally came in, I was like, hell yeah. But the problem was, because people saw the leaked episode prior to it coming out, they put a GIF of that up, and I already knew it was coming. It made me very mad.
Well, that's your fault for trolling into the Reddit polls where those things occur.
This wasn't on Reddit at all. It was just looking at the people that made the comment about the brand theory. I was looking at the comments on that, and I could get past comments if somebody's throwing in teasers out there. Somebody threw a GIF up, and I'm like, why are you throwing up pictures? It draws my attention to them. I'm like a little child.
I like moving things. There's a GIF. Let me have this.
And I was like, no. So
Well, see,
people start posting it. So, but it was an amazing scene.
How dare you guys be excited about this? Because as soon as I even saw her have the reaction, I was like, all right, here we go. So here's one of them's gonna die now. We're gonna lose a dragon.
Yeah.
And when he pulled that second spear off the horse, when he pulled that second spear off the horse, I was ready for another one to go down. I was like, man, we're gonna lose Viserion and the other, and Drogon's gonna be the only dragon left to take down. Well, here's my thing. I wanted it to be that way because I wanted Drogon to take down his 2 undead brothers. I wanted him to take them down.
No, because John is going to become the writer of the other one.
They're too small to have writers.
Yeah.
He's going to become the writer.
No.
They're little baby dragons. They're too small for writers.
It's gonna
Especially
happen.
with those big old gonads
gonna
on
happen.
those big old gonads on
the
Jon Snow
Targaryen.
rolling out there
He's
without
a
a dragon.
Targaryen. It's gonna happen. They are
Gonna
gonna end up
happen.
making him a writer. Yeah.
It's his destiny.
On his back.
Hold on. What's up, Rudy? Go ahead.
The Drogon just carried a squad of people on his back. You silly.
Well, he's like 8 times. He's 3 times the size of the other ones. That's why. Absolutely.
Then, if he's 3 times and can carry that many people,
Drogon's a
and
beast.
then-
All right. The others are pansies. They'll go down with
And then-
one shot from a spear. All right. Drogon took a bolt to the shoulder. He's fine. There you go, Sarah. I'm trying to be on your side here. Work with me. Anyways, no, but yeah, Robert definitely agreed. He felt like the dragon was going to go. Now, one of the things though, Marco is talking about, like the Night King resurrection, right? Is like a warg style of the Ravens and I think it is, because here's what we saw, and this is the piece that I really wanted to make sure we talked about, because we saw earlier in the episode, we watched Jon take down like an officer of the Night King, if you will, and then all of the White Walkers around him then vanished and perished. Now, I think when these guys are bringing up White Walkers and bringing up dead, they then control them. It's kind of like a hive mind, if you will. Now that the Night King has brought back to life a dragon, we've already seen this. He's able to control all these other things, and once he's done, those other things will die around him as well. They all know they have to kill the Night King to kill everything else. So I think you're absolutely right, Marco. And yeah, I 100% agree with you. And do you guys agree? I see all the heads nodding. We're all agreeing on that one there.
Yeah.
It's the old tale of the vampire. You kill the master, and all the rest are gone.
And I got hearing one thing, but it's just my grammar Nazi coming out. It's White Walkers are the generals. The whites are the foot soldiers that die when you kill the White Walker. You had it backwards. Epic beard fail.
Hey, you know what? I listened to the books. I didn't read them. I didn't really care too much about it. So, tomato. They're all Lich King, as far as I'm concerned. World of Warcraft reference there for you, everybody.
Apparently you were getting called out in the chat room as well.
Well, and I was just going to say, Jay Lee, I don't know what that reference is referring to. I know nothing. I have no idea what you're talking to. But come see me in a cave anytime you want to, big boy, and we'll hang out there and keep each other warm. Jay Lee doesn't have red hair though, so I don't want a man that's not touched by fire. The redheads are the best.
Robert does bring up a point that he has taken 2 spears so far in the minions fall. So,
but 2 spears not made of ice. There is a big difference, like you said.
That's true.
If they had been made of
Who
ice.
took 2 spears? Who took 2 spears?
Drogon did.
Drogon took 1 spear. He took one to the shoulder.
Did he take another one?
It's just one. I thought it was just one.
Yeah, another 2 never hit.
Okay.
Because
right.
Braun shot 3 and 1 hit took on the shoulder.
But is it 2 spears in reference to the Drogon hit, or was there a fight with the Night King where he took normal spear, like he got stabbed with normal stuff, and then once again he's the White Walker, so he didn't die because it wasn't Valyrian steel
wasn't Valyrian steel, wasn't dragon glass, wasn't fire, so nothing killed him on that. So yeah, Robert, clarify that for us in the chat if you would, man. I really appreciate it. But once again, guys, if you're loving the show, man, hit us up on our website. Go to our Amazon links. We'd love you guys to support. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're enjoying the chat as well. We'd really appreciate it. So for you guys, so as we kind of get done with this, right? I want to make sure that we talk about kind of our final scenarios here. So we finally get out of there. We finally get out of the battle. We've lost a dragon. We've lost Thoros as well. So we lost a fellowship member. We've lost a dragon. Dany gets him out of there, flies away, and Jon Snow right into the drink. Falls through the ice like a fool, ice skating where he shouldn't be doing it. And he's gone, right? He drops off, and sure enough, he's saved, right? He comes back out the water. He's there. He's fighting.
Saved himself, I guess.
Who shows up? None other than the one, the only Benjen Stark, right? So what'd you say, Wes?
I said
Finally, right? Yeah, they've been out there for all this whole time, and now that's what I was going to ask you though, Mess. Is where's this guy been? Like, what has he been doing? Has he been stalking these cats? Like, where did he see this? What was going on that you think he finally decided to come and start helping out?
Where the heck did he come from? Like, was he hiding in a cave?
If I recall from the books, I don't know if Nudie can clarify on this, but he's out there basically fighting the whites. He's basically moving around. And
that's if you're going with the theory. That's if you're going with the theory that he's Cold Hands in the book that leads Bran to the 3-eyed raven that he's fighting, but that's never confirmed.
No, he's already rescued Bran and did all that. He is Cold Hands.
Yes,
in the show, right? But not in the books. It's not confirmed. Remember, we're just
Yeah, it wasn't confirmed in the books. It got past that,
Yeah.
but it was leading up to that. It was showing that
which is what my theory always was. And if they don't confirm it in the books at this point, then shame on them. But yeah, I mean, but you're right. Like, where? I mean, was he tailing the outskirts of the army? Was he hiding in a cave?
That's basically, yeah. I think that's all he's doing is just skirt tailing him. And the problem is him. At least we got him in the show somewhat. Him, like Lady Stoneheart. There's a lot more going on with Benjen from the books than happened on the show. At least we got a little bit of Benjen, but that we're not going to get Lady Stoneheart at all is still the sad point. And the little bit we get of him, he comes back and we lose him immediately as soon as he comes back. I wanted so much more from Benjen. I wanted to see more of him. So
but he went down like a gangster, as a Catholic priest with his essence, his smoker just out there nailing fools. So, but what were you gonna say, Rudy?
For one, incense, not essence.
Essence, incense. You're right. I'm all over the place. Appreciate you.
But no, I totally I completely second West that as far as coming out of nowhere, guerrilla warfare is his thing. That's his whole point, is just taking out whatever whites he can bit by bit on the side. He was obviously following the army, harrying them, harassing them. That would have been what his character would do naturally. So I second that. Just
cool. No, obviously. So he comes back in. He saves Jon Snow. Jon Snow gets out of there, saves the day. Jon's alive. He comes and shows up at the wall, half frozen. Very cool scene though, where they're peeling off his clothes and they're all just kind of frozen to his body as Davos is, pulling him off and helping him out there.
I bet you like that. I bet you like
that. I got another thing we'll talk. There's a reason why Dany's lips were so blue later on in that scene, but it's a whole nother talk.
We did get from Robert that the harpies were where the second spear came.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, Robert did talk about that as well.
But yeah, she didn't want to go. She didn't want to. She was standing up at that wall. She was just watching. I mean, Jorah was up there with her and be like, we need to go. Like, it's time. Like, you've got other responsibilities, and she's just like, no, I'm gonna stand here a little bit longer.
I just think that was her kind of mourning. I think that was just kind of her,
she was. And it was, she was hoping. You could tell she had hope written all over her face. I'll give what's her name? Emilia Clarke? Emilia? The actress.
Emilia.
However you pronounce it. I'll give her credit. She had that look of desperate hope radiating off of her in that scene.
Well, the big scene here, the big final piece here is Dany finally dedicates her armies to Jon and going after the North. We have now got everybody that is not in King's Landing right now going to be facing their armies north and taking on the Night King and his White Walkers and his Whites. So they're all headed north for you there. And the other part of this, though, is Jon Snow dedicates himself to his new queen, bends the knee, if he could, if you will. So what does this kind of mean for the Northmen? I mean, we're already watching Littlefinger and Sansa tearing the North apart right now. What do you think the reaction is going to be of these lords out there, Nudie?
He was bending something, that's for sure.
That was him breathing heavy, man.
And now, Mess, what are your thoughts on that scene?
I thought the same thing when I saw the blanket going up and down. I was like, it's breathing. But
I can't.
Yeah,
it must be a guy thing to have to question that. I didn't question it. I was just like, oh, he's just breathing. Okay.
No, but yeah, it's there's going to be another civil war that's going to branch off from this. It's just Littlefinger's got Sansa going where he's going. He's going to have his followers, mainly the wildlings and stuff like that. They're going to stick with Jon. The tiebreaker in all this is going to be Mormont. Lyanna Mormont is going to be the one that ends up helping push which way to go. Every time she speaks, she's been the one that's
well, she hasn't been there though. They've kept her. Are they saving her for that?
It's called child labor laws. All right, it's called child labor laws. They can't let her have that much time.
They use her dialogue for just that right amount of punch because everybody loves seeing her so much that they wait on bated breath whenever she comes.
I swear, if I hadn't known that Olenna Tyrell was still alive, I would have sworn that her spirit went into Lyanna Mormont. She's got those zingers just like Olenna does, so she's going to grow up and be the next, but I don't think she'll be as underhanded as Olenna was, but she's got that dialogue down.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And, Robert gave a great point in there. And he says, they're not necessarily tearing the North apart, but Littlefinger's playing the sisters against each other. And we've watched the Lords of the North sit there and fight and squabble amongst each other with no one really sitting in there and moderating that, right? Sansa sits back and listens to it and kind of watches it all kind of take place rather than, uniting them and bringing them stronger together.
She's not doing anything to stop it. She's letting the dissent fester, and by the time Jon gets back and he's bent the knee, it's gonna cause a outrage.
It is, and she finally showed a little bit more of her true colors when she took credit for everything. She went to Arya. She said that I was the one that got the land back. It was me. It wasn't Jon. I did all this. She took full credit for everything. And yes, her coming in is what Jon would have probably destroyed. Yeah. But
absolutely.
She finally threw that brick out there of like not playing nice or anything like that. She straight up said that I am the one that did all this, that I should be the one held up on the pedestal.
Well, and here's where I'm loving that you guys are setting this up, because everybody's been talking about for episode after episode after episode that Sansa took her training from Cersei, and Cersei's biggest thing is I, not we. And now we're watching Sansa have the same points of it was me. This is my North. I'm the one in charge. I'm the one here. And we're watching her take that whole North factor and turning it into a singular just me.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, yeah, that's you basically.
Yeah, I mean that's my thing right there. So we had J2 on as well, man. Welcome in. Longclaw's eyes open as soon as Jon got out the water. So
I did not catch that.
I didn't catch that. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that because I didn't catch that. I was watching it pretty intently, wondering if it was gonna like get up and start dancing, but because they focused on it for a while. I mean, I'm like, is this like the memorial? Is he gonna pop out of the water? All I could think of though, and excuse me for making this a joke, but all I could literally think of when they were popping out of the water, the whites and everything, and Jon at the end was that line from Mulan. They're popping out of the snow like daisies. With Mushu. That was all. My brain was just all I could think of was they're popping out of the snow.
Yeah, absolutely, Marco. I agree with you as well, man. Littlefinger, once they kind of find out his involvement, that will absolutely, but nobody knows about that involvement with Jon Arryn's death and Littlefinger. No. So I don't think we have anybody left that knows those items there.
The one, I mean, Ned thought it was Cersei. The only one that knew was Catelyn's sister.
I think Varys knows about it because Varys knows everything. But no, J2 Day vlogs, watch Longclaw's eyes, and that's Longclaw's the blade. They were closed and then opened up once Jon pumps out the water. I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to see that. So I'll have to see. We'll have to see what that was, man. I'm looking forward to checking that one out. So I like that. And then Jay Lee, way to get a good Mulan drop in there. Nothing like a shameless Disney plug for us.
Yeah.
Great fans of the show too. Disney. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. They're always our number 9th or 10th viewers, so we appreciate Disney for watching as always. Joke, I promise. Sorry. Bad one as well. So that's kind of what we got. I appreciate you guys. Any final thoughts on the episode before we wrap this all up? Nudie, what you got?
Love you, Viserion. Bye.
Rest in peace, Viserion. Rest in peace. Well, not rest. He's up. He's active. He's ready to go.
He's got himself
a brand new blue eye as well. Well, now here's the thing though. Here's all that's gonna happen is all we're gonna get is a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh memes for Blue Eyes Dragons now. That's all we're gonna get now from this. That's all that's coming. And I said it first here on MaliceCast and on MaliceCast Live, so you guys all owe me credit for that. That is all trademark Big Papa Matt. Appreciate you on that. Sarah, what you got for us?
I'm gonna leave it with a laugh and just Tyrion and Dany, and he's too little.
He's too little.
Be a hero.
He's too little to be a hero.
He's too little.
Oh, poor.
I didn't mean
that was a knock at Tyrion and Jon Snow. Poor guys. Oh man. Well, She obviously enjoyed something with that blanket going up and down as we talked about earlier. And Mest, what'd you think, man? What's your final thoughts?
One thing, Benjen, I really wish he would have just slapped Jon Snow and said "stupid bastard" before he made him go off.
Gave him a smack.
Yeah. But I still like the episode. I think it was good. I need Davos back next week because I miss Davos in an episode.
Davos, absolutely.
So he has become my favorite of the season. So
What's going on? Craving some onions?
Cravens. I'm lost on that, Mark.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah. Onion night. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the onion.
I got it.
And we're there.
Yeah.
I caught up. Eventually.
Yes, I'm craving some onions. I want to cry. But no, I'm the slight scares that we got of people dying this week. I'm the craziness of who they're going to kill off next week, because you're going to get 2 or 3 characters generally that are going to die at the end of the season, and what it's 8 episodes this week. This
one more episode. They called finale. They already called for the finale. We got the finale preview coming up, like Jay said. I did not watch. I personally don't watch the previews on the finale. So
then it's 7 episodes.
7 episodes. Yeah, 7 episodes.
Okay, I thought it was 8. Okay,
so 7 episodes. No, I did not watch the preview for that next episode. But no, and that's what we're kind of doing right now, Jay. Our final thoughts on this as well. So
yeah, I curled up in a little ball when I saw him getting dragged, and before the Hound came in and saved him. And the same thing with Jorah. Jorah's gonna die. We all know it's gonna end up happening, but I didn't want to see him die by just falling off the dragon. That would have been a sad, pathetic way to go.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, man. Jorah, like, he can never leave the friend zone, and the friend zone will not let you fall off a dragon. So that's what we know about the friend zone. Jay is actually saying that he's actually hoping Littlefinger's gonna be dying off next week, so that may be one of our deaths as well. So I agree. No, I think we're gonna get some cool stuff. I think the finale. I'm hoping we're not gonna get the normal bunch of amazing stuff on the episode before the preview, and the preview is a little slow. The finale is a little slow. The finale is a little dry. But my big thing here with the finale is I think we are finally going to have we're going to see Cersei see the White Walkers. We're going to get the White Walkers in front of her. And here's just my wonderful thing here. I think we're going to get the Lannister army leaving Cersei at King's Landing, and Jaime's going to head up north with Tyrion and the rest of the gang to take on the White Walkers.
And I will tell you why that will happen. Because Brienne was the one that was sent there, and
because Brienne was exactly.
She has the connection with Jaime already. So this, 100%. I think, we'll finally see Jaime start actually. Well, he's still held by that freaking baby. And here's my thing with that though. Is that's why he's going to do it, is because he's going to go protect his unborn child from these White Walkers. Even if Cersei isn't willing to do it, he will be, and he controls the Lannister armies. But if she tells him you can't leave, he's a whipping boy still.
He goes.
I think he goes.
I think he takes off, and she says, "Good riddance to you. You betrayed me. Never let me see you again, because I told you not to betray me, and this is what you're doing."
Yeah, I think it's going to be the final wedge, I guess you could say, between them.
Absolutely. So here's what I want you guys to do. We're going to give our call outs where you guys can find us. We are going to wrap the cast with that. But what I want you guys to do is I want you to give me one death prediction for the end of for the finale next week as you sign off. So Rudy, where can we find you at?
I'm Nudie Rudy on Instagram, also on Twitter. Please follow the official Malice Corp Instagram on as well. Just Malice Corp on there. So please follow that up. And as far as my prediction for a death, I hate to say it, I'm dreading it, but I don't think they're going to let Danny and John's love story end well. So,
so you're going to call it Danny or John death next episode?
Danny's going to be. I'm hoping not. I really don't think that, but that's here. That's my
Nudie Rudy, everybody shooting for the moon, and if you miss, you hit the stars. So hopefully something good will come out of that. We'll see.
Martin loves to just
Martin didn't got nothing to do with this no more. HBO is taking over. Sarah, where can we find you, and what's your prediction?
Find me at Super Hoovy and Net on Twitter. Always a good time happening on Twitter. And then my prediction for next week: someone that was saved tonight And to throw back to The Walking Dead, you thought Tormund was going to die. He didn't. You thought Jorah was going to die. He didn't. You thought the Hound was going to die at one point. He didn't. So I think one of those people that were epically saved at the end, and I'm not saying Jon yet. I don't think they're going to do that yet. I think Jon's going to become a dragon rider. So I think one of those three is going to die.
Okay. And Mess, where can you find you, and what's your prediction?
Before getting into that really quick, I just want to give a little shout out. You guys, this conversation continues going after this chat. Danielle Costa gave a wonderful comment last week on the video. So if you guys have any thoughts about these videos, please put them in the comments below, because we do go back, look at them, and continue the conversation with you. And I just wanted to say thank you to coming and commenting and keeping the conversation going. But beyond that, you can follow me on Twitter at _Malice Corp. And my prediction, I'm calling either we're gonna lose Varys, or we're gonna lose I just blanked. But just because of the foreshadowing.
Littlefinger?
Not Littlefinger. Littlefinger's still got too much to play.
Okay.
So Melisandre, is that you're blanking on?
No, Melisandre has to come back still.
So no, and Jay, thank you so much for the long claw bit, man. We'll see you later on that. What was that? What, Mess?
Either Varys or Brienne.
Brienne. Okay. And yeah, Jay Lee with the Brienne call. Jay Lee's prediction, Brienne gets killed by Cersei, and that spurs Jaime to leave and head to the north. So exactly. I like that as well. And yeah, just like Mess said, everybody, the plan was here is give us your predictions. Let us know what you guys think about the show, what you guys think is going to happen next. Write in the comments on this chat. We do check them out. We do reply. We love hearing what you guys have to say, because it continues the conversation and it continues to let us talk about this fantastic show that we love so much. Because as you've seen, these guys are boring to talk to. We like to hear from you. So come join the chat, come join the live shows, and we can't wait to hear. For myself, you can follow me, the Big Papa Matt, on the website as well as Twitter. You can also follow me at Son of Maku on Snapchat as well as PlayStation Network, and hit me up. We'll play some games. You can also follow my other podcast where we talk a lot more of this, and we talk in a much more harsh adult language on the Nerd Mosh Pit. Follow us on Twitter at Nerd Mosh Pit, as well as hit us up on Gmail, nerdmoshpit.com. We can't wait to hear what you guys think. My prediction for our next episode is definitely going to be we are going to lose Tormund. Unfortunately, I think we're going to lose him next episode. I think he's going to catch a fight that his mouth cannot keep, and unfortunately, him and Brienne's love affair never occurs and happens.
You just want him to die because you don't want him to get Brienne.
Stop talking about my plans, Mess. Why you gotta ruin my stuff, man? This is my life right here. All right, get out of there. I already got to compete with the golden-haired Jaime Lannister. I can't compete with the amazing bearded wildling too. All right, jeez, get off my back. If you guys love the show, man, make sure to remember, please, to like, subscribe. We love you guys. We love this show. We love everything you guys do. Let us know what you guys think. We are going to be out for the night. We really do appreciate it. And stay chilling out there, as they say in the North. Winter's coming. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Guys, keep nerding on.